Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Dirt, Grain, Steel. So this is Throwback Thursday, and I'm going to try to do this voiceover. So here we see my dad, my grandpa, and I. We're down on my grandpa's farm, and we farm this farm to this day. We've got my Uncle Larry's John Deere 4850 and 750 John Deere no-till drill. We're filling it up with soybeans now. You can see these are untreated soybeans. I'm not sure what brand they are. By the blue bags, they might be Pioneer. Can't really tell. I can't really see a bag all that well. I think they are Pioneer soybeans. My grandpa planted a lot of Pioneer soybeans back in the day. So this tractor, I think, was a 1984. And that drill, I think, was fairly new back then. If you note, there's no markers on that drill. Dad planted quite a few soybeans with no markers on the planter. They did set that planter up with markers later on. But I'm thinking this was one of the earlier drills that my Uncle Larry owned. I think a little bit later he ended up buying a new John Deere 7400 front wheel assist, and Dad planted a lot with that. I think he planted for a short time with the 4850. 4850 is quite a bit of horsepower for a 15-foot no-till drill. Yeah, kick those bags out of the way there, Dale. I don't want them dragging under the planter while I stand there and just look and do nothing. We got a good shot at Grandpa's grain bin set up there. Mom's running the camera. Well, let's get started. Here we go. You can see me there just riding along, enjoying the ride. Now that tractor did have a western door floater on it, and I believe this was right after, I would say, the winter before they put that loader on. Because judging by the way the brackets look, it looks like it was fairly new. I don't remember a lot of some of this because I was so young, but I did run that tractor quite a bit in my later years. I dumped a lot of mint tubs with it, loaded a lot of mint roots and stuff in the planters with the loader on it. Spent a lot of time in that tractor. My Uncle Larry bought that one new and sold it on an auction on the farm back in like 2004. It left the farm, so it lived on the farm for a long time. My dad put a lot of hours on that tractor. Okay, we're digging for soybeans. We're checking population. We're going to check planting depth. My grandpa was always a stickler on planting depth. Even when I planted his soybeans when he was on the verge of retiring from farming, I planted, I think, his last crop of soybeans that he farmed before he retired, and of course he had to spot check me all the time. Golf cart come flying across the ground or field, and he would check. Oh, did you see that car that just drove by? That was a classic. So we'll dig up a few here, make sure we got our right population. Always checking. Always checking. Well, he's going to stoop down and take another look there. Must have been a windy day, yeah. So we're in the south field down here on my grandpa's. Now this field originally had fences in it, and my dad and some friends in high school, they took all the fences out, plowed it all, and turned it into one big field. I sure do wish I owned that tractor. I really like that one. I swear a 4850 is more tractor than a 4955 is. But that tractor, I think the only major things that ever happened to it was it needed a head gasket early in its life, and Dad put the head gasket in it, and then a bolt backed out of one of the oil suction tubes in the transmission back when I was in middle school. And that tube ran through the bolt gears. They got the pieces out of it and put a new tube in, and the tractor ran fine after that with no trouble. We're going to back around here and get the in-rows planted. Yep, back right up there on the road. Might as well plant a few rows of soybeans right there in the asphalt. And with them John Deere 750 no-till drills, you could almost plant soybeans in concrete. Them are really good drills. I've been looking for a 20-footer with markers to replace my air seeder, but Drew at Castonia Tractor has me on to a really nice bean planter that I might try to get for next season. It is the Maxi Merge row units with the 3-bushel boxes on 15-inch rows. I forgot what number planter that is, but it is a designated bean planter from factory. And I'm thinking about looking into that for next. Oh, it's like Farm Simulator. We just went from planting straight to harvest. So here we are, harvest down on Grandpa's. We've got the red barn in the background. That was my great-grandpa's barn. We got our corn matured back there. We are in a 1460 International Combine, one of my Uncle Larry's combines. I believe this is an 820 15-foot head on it. We're cutting beans here in the south field. Looks like Dad's heading across the field on an angle. He's always liked to cut on an angle. So you can see my head. I can see the reflection of me there in the windshield. My mom's on the camcorder again, recording. I don't really remember these combines all that much. Because I was young then. I remember the 1680 and the 1688 that replaced them more than I do the 1460s. This particular 1460, if I remember correctly, this is the one with the mud hog on it and the rice and cane tires, and this one was nicknamed Bigfoot. This was the one that my dad always ran until my uncle bought the 1680, and then dad ran the 1680 after that. The 1680 is still actually around. My Uncle Jamie owns the 1680. It was also sold on the farm auction. My Uncle Larry had a kind of just a liquidation auction, got rid of some excess equipment off the farm, and the 80 got sold on that auction, went to a guy in Culver, and then a few years ago my Uncle Jamie bought it back from him, and he has it still. My dad ran that 1680 when it had 250 hours on it, so it was almost brand new. It come from a farm in Wabash, Indiana, and Dad drove it all the way home. So there's kind of a look at my grandpa's farm. This was before the house and his shop. They built the house they started construction on the house in like 98. I do have videos of that. And then he built the shop a little later. There used to be a house up on the hill that was great grandpa's house. That got tore down in the 2000s, early 2000s. But must have been a drier year that year because these soybeans just didn't get very tall. Usually that south field usually yields really well. And you can also see some grounded out spots out there. Oh, there's my dad. Always been a big flannel shirt wearer. Had a mustache at one time too. Yeah, look at that mustache. But anyways, I do have video of this farm getting tiled also, so I'll have to make that into a throwback Thursday video. Yeah, you can see that wet spot right there. They put quite a bit of I think 6 and 8 inch tile in that farm. So there's an outside view of the 1460. That was my grandpa's grain truck right there, a Ford grain truck. Had a gas engine in it, 2 transmissions, and a pain in the butt to drive. That's why it's not still around. Kinda hard to go to a gas engine grain truck after driving a 400 Cummins with a 13 speed behind it, you know. So we really need to get us a small Tandemax grain truck like that again, just for these dabs here and there for insurance purposes, instead of running a hopper bottom that's only got 500 bushel in it. Oh, I don't know what I'm running from. I'm running somewhere. Grandpa must be leaving me. That truck, he bought that truck. Oh, look at that boy. He's flying. Grandpa bought that truck from Dobson's Ford in Winnemac back when my dad worked there. My dad actually pre-delivered it. Grandpa always joked up until he sold it about 6-8 years ago. He's always joking with me. He still had one payment to go on it, and it was like an 87 or 88 or something. There's my dad. I'm not sure who's riding with him. I can't tell if that was Grandpa or not. There's the 1460 in all her glory. I don't think those are the Rice and Cane tires. Maybe those were just the 30.5s on it, like I run on L2 number 1. But that one definitely had the mud hog on it. Maybe the Rice and Cane tires came a little bit later. So as you can see, there's not much coming out of the back. So anyways, thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next one.